Rastafari. Yeah. Shall break every chain. The conquering lion. Chain. And give I tree again and again. The conquering lion Joe shall break every chain. The conquering lion shall break every chain. The conquering lion shall break every chain and give I victory again and again. The Lion of Judah, Rastafari. Yeah, the Lion of Judah shall break every chain. The Lion of Judah shall break every chain and give I victory again and again. Hail Jah, hail Jah, hail Jah Rastafari. Oh, Ayanaya, hail Jah, Ayanaya, Jah, hail Jah Rastafari. Oh, Ayanaya. In a Mount Zion. Oh, have a little light in eye, going to make it shine. Have a little light in eye, we're going to make it shine. This little light in eye, going to make it shine. Shine, 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 Rastafari shine. This little light in eye, we're going to make it shine. This a little light in eye, oh, going to make it shine. Just this little light in eye, going to make it shine. Shine, 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 King Rastafari shine. In the Ethiopia, in Ethiopia, the Lion of Judah for I and in Ethiopia. King Haile Selassie, for I and I am in Ethiopia. Pressmen and asphalt, for I and I are in Zion is a holy place. No sinners cannot enter there. Zion is a holy place. No sin shall not enter there. Whoa, King Rastafari, for I and I are in
All right. Okay. Right. And I go choose it. Yes. Greetings in the divine name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Yeleai. Last the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, the conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah, the elect of God, the light of His word, the tried for His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, Black Christ in flesh, in His kingly character. This is the house of Rastafari, having a great pleasure and honor and a joy to be within this beautiful place in front of such beautiful people. It's only love we carry. It's only love. It's love that transcends any barriers, any obstacle. It's a kind of love that goes beyond race, color, creed, and even religion. It's such a love that you can feel in your heart and is so difficult to express. Just like when you are in front of such a beautiful landscape and it feels like you fall short of words. So it is in this meditation that we, the House of Rastafari, come forth to bring on this table, in this panel today, a reasoning with you all concerning peace. The festival has started, the festival has proceeded, the festival is in its full momentum. And we all know that the topic of this year is peace. United for Peace, declares the Rototom Sunsplash, to whom we express all of our gratitude and thanksgiving for allowing the Rastafari family to be here since 2003 under the name of House of Rastafari, providing a service, a cultural service. That's why we're here for. We're not here to convert people or to convince people. We're here to serve, because the best way to honor the Almighty is to honor the human being. It is in this light, it is in this mood, and with this feeling in our heart that we feel that the theme of peace, the subject of peace, should be addressed also from the perspective of the Rastafari tradition. And first of all, from the very words of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, the Negus and Negast of Ethiopia. When we heard that this year, 2023, the festival would be focused, centered on peace, well, we said the Rastaman is talking about peace from almost 1 century now. So we cannot diverge from this topic. We cannot speak about anything else. But we want to support the theme edition, bringing eye in eye perspective and understanding and experience of what peace really is. So first of all, let me extend the gratitude also to the Reggae University that also is always so kind to welcome us here. So give thanks to the Reggae University crew. All right. Second, I would like to introduce the panelists of today. I'm sure that you know them already. That is my job to introduce them every time. Ikula Rastafari, aka the Rastafari ambassador from Jamaica, residing in US, here as a guest speaker of the House of Rastafari. Ikula Rastafari.
Yes, I. Yes, I do give thanks, and the theme is peace. And the Rastaman originally speaks of peace and love. See? So, a peace we are dealing with, you know, His Imperial Majesty say, in the truth, there are no legitimate reason or good cause that can justify war. So the Rastaman stands for peace every time. Rastafari bless.
Aye, aye. And then we have Ras Ibi, directly from Arba Minj, Ethiopia, the south of Ethiopia. Ras Ibi is a member from the House of Rastafari now from quite a while. Ras Ibi, welcome on board.
Thankfulness, Rastafari, Haile Selassie first, and Empress Menenai. Yeah, man, it's really pleasant and pleasure to be here year after year and seeing the beautiful people and interacting in this way. And there is few subjects that is more precious to I and I than peace. It is not just a solitary experience, but it starts within and it will radiate to the world. So we are here to finding ways and means of producing and sharing and caring in this spirit of peace. Yeah? So it's with thankfulness I'm here again this year. As I say, I come from a very peaceful place in Ethiopia. Ethiopia is at war at a certain place, so there's a lot of things happening. The area I come from is a place that's very known for peace. Rastafari.
That's it.
Yes, I give thanks, Ras Ibi, always bringing good knowledge and wisdom on the table. And by the way, I am Ras Giulio, the coordinator, the director of the House of Rastafari. So it's a pleasure and an honor to be with you once again. All right. Blessed love, blessed love, blessed love. Time is running. So let's just dive into it because like Bob Marley says, so much things to say. So peace, how we gonna structure this? Because peace is one of the most discussed principle topic. You can look at peace medically, you can look at peace from a scientific, from a poetic, from an existential, from an emotional point of view. Humanity, mankind, has been talking about peace and will be talking about peace until we have the breath of life. So we want to organize this program here today very, very simply. The first part of the reasoning will be concerning international peace, mankind, the world peace. The second part of the reasoning will be more pertaining individual peace. So our daily peace practice, how to keep and maintain our peace within our mind, our body, our soul, and of course, with all the peoples. Yes, I. All right. Here we are again. And all the people that we are blessed to have amongst us, such family, work team, society, friends, and so forth. So, obviously, to reason about something, we need a foundation. Yeah, we need a line. We need a blueprint. Yeah, the foundation of the reasoning of today is the speech of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, that proclaimed in front of the United Nations in 1963. It turns out that this year, 2023, is the 60th anniversary of this famous speech, these famous words of His Imperial Majesty, which I'm sure that all of you know, because an extract of this speech has inspired Robert Nesta Marley to such an extent that he, the king of reggae music, included in his song War, Until the Color of a Man's Skin. Yeah, we're talking about this speech. 60 years ago, His Imperial Majesty, in front of the United Nations in New York City, United States of America, uttered these words, which have such a revolutionary essence and power that cannot be ignored. And we, the Rastafari family, have the honor, the joy, and the duty to commemorate the 60 years of this famous speech. Commemorating, it does not mean that we are just celebrating that he was proclaimed 60 years ago and that's it. This is not a birthday of the speech. It is an occasion to read deeply between the lines of the speech, of the words of His Imperial Majesty, and find the meaning behind these words. The essence, the topic is peace. But we have two pieces of news right now. Yeah, we come with two pieces of news. So one is good and the other one is bad. From where shall we start from? Let's start from the bad, the audience say. All right. So the bad news is that we cannot look for peace. If we look for peace, we will never find peace. That's the bad news. But please don't get depressed. It's nothing tragic. Because we have the good news. And the good news is that obtaining peace is easier than what we might think. Yeah? So this is the way I and I are going to start. Imagine now that God Almighty comes down on earth and He tells humanity, right, hear me now. Do you want to find peace and do you want to manifest peace? Do you, in other words, do you want to live peacefully on this planet Earth? And mankind replies, yes, please, of course, we all want to live peacefully. Right, okay, so here there are the basic instructions for living peacefully on planet Earth and making sure that mankind can live in harmony, in respect, in compassion, and in understanding. In other words, we could say that the speech of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I is a guideline, basic instructions on how to live peacefully, meaningfully, respectfully, and consequently, eternally on this planet Earth. It's all written here. But we need to read it through the eyes of Rastafari. Because Rastafari is a mystical experience of life. Rastafari is not a religion, is not a philosophy. Rastafari is not a theory. Rastafari is life. It's the same life, but experienced with a different awareness, consciousness, understanding. Yes, this is what Rastafari is, a mystical experience of life. That's why, if we think about God, the Almighty, the Most High, coming down on earth and giving you the instructions on how to live peacefully on planet Earth, we could not think nothing else if not some real practical instructions. Because the King of Kings, Haile Selassie I, that for Rastafari tradition, theology, faith, is the Black Christ, Messiah, return in His kingly character, the King of Kings speaks very clearly, very directly, because He wants mankind to listen carefully to His words, and if these words are put into practice, then automatically peace will reign on earth. We all can find this speech on internet, Google. We can find it in the book of His Imperial Majesty. We can find it on any Rastafari website or house. It was one of the most famous speeches that mankind has ever read. It's not a piece of art, not a piece of literature, but is indeed a recipe to salvation and redemption. His Imperial Majesty in this speech puts in front of our eyes the basic ingredients of peace. So let's go back 1 second to what we were saying before. If we look for peace, we will never obtain peace, because peace is something that needs to be created. So we don't have to seek peace, we have to create peace. How do you create peace? You create the ingredients of peace. And when these ingredients are put into place and combined together in the perfect manner, the product of this will be peace. So if we sit down and we pray for peace, it's pointless. You will never obtain anything. If we feel and hope that we could just, pick up the phone, metaphorically speaking, and ask the Almighty or the universe for peace. Nothing like that. Peace must be created, and there are ingredients to make peace a reality. His Imperial Majesty states that the first ingredient is collective security. Collective security, these two words, which are the product of the moral and the teaching and the example of His Imperial Majesty, are the basic foundation of peace, happiness on earth. What is collective security? The definition could go like this. Every man must feel on his shoulder the destiny of the entire planet Earth. Every man must feel on his shoulder the destiny and the responsibility of his fellow human being. His Imperial Majesty taught the world that we must stop considering ourselves individual citizens. There is nothing like that. Maybe it was like that in the past, but we know that system has failed. We must consider ourselves world citizens because we are devoted to the concept of collective security. Haile Selassie I.
Yes, I. Yes, beloved. I do give thanks, as Ras Julia was stating, that peace is not something that you run and look for. He's saying that you have to have that inner peace. And that inner peace, it's a cultivation of your day-to-day. And the first law of having this peace is self-respect. When you learn to respect oneself and you work on that respect within your household, then you extend it to the external world to make that peace. So it's a universal love, but it's an individual responsibility to find that inner peace. Like His Majesty say, a man must learn to accept sadness just like gladness, and that's the only way you can maintain that inner peace. Rastafari, blessed.
Haile Selassie I. Yeah, just like the Idrins them are saying, is peace is not just a spiritual matter or internal, it's external, internal matter, and it's a practical matter also. So in this vein of thoughts, some years ago, I was blessed to be part of a program in Ethiopia named U-Day, Unites. So I brought 65 spiritual leaders from all over the world to Ethiopia, representing the 13 world religions. It was a wonderful experience. We took them up to Lalibela. We had programs in AU and in Shashimane as well. The outcome of this is that in all the religions and spiritual traditions of the world, peace is a very essential thing. And the question has always been there, how do we awaken this state of peace? Now it is found that in all 13 world religion and all spiritual traditions, there is one thing we always have together, more than fasting and prayer. It's the golden rule. The item know about the golden rule, right? That is something where mama and papa are supposed to teach you even before you start school. In the Christian Bible, in the Bible, it says that do unto others as you want them to do unto you. So if mankind as a whole, they always tell us that it's so complicated, this peace thing. Politicians like to tell us it's hard thing. It's very complicated, but the matter is not so complicated. If I, the world population at large, could unite around one rule, yeah, that we would do unto others as we would want them to do unto us, then we could find world peace. So this is a one way of practically working towards peace. Because there will always be differences among mankind. We are different things, we look different, we speak different, we smell different, but we have certain things in common. So like following Haile Selassie teachings now, he said, let us rally around what we have in common. So let's peace be that thing that all of us join in, Rastafari.
Right? Yes, sir. Rastafari, give thanks. I do give thanks.
All right.
And to strengthen what the brethren is saying, that it's that the Rastafari community is a perfect example. Because, listen, when the slave ship leave Liverpool in England and go to the Guinea coast in Africa and cargo I people into the Western world for 500 years of slavery into the diaspora, in Jamaica, there was going to be this terrible uprising after the Coral Garden incident. And it's the Rastafari community who creates stability in Jamaica and tell the people, said, listen, we do not render evil for evil. It's good over evil. See? So the Rastaman way of life is peace in its own reverence. So we can see that it's something that we practice within the Rastafari community. That's why even when Bob Marley come and say, one love to the world, it's a teaching from the Rastafari community to say peace and love, because that was the motto and the order of the day. Peace and love for all. Rastafari bless.
Yes, I. Yes, I. Yes, I. Yes, I. So it's important when we read the words of His Imperial Majesty in this speech, it's very important to keep in mind the context, yes? Rastafari proclaim His Imperial Majesty as the Messiah, yeah? The Messianic figure. So, according to all the prophecies and ancient traditions, the Messiah in his second coming, yeah, in his final manifestation on this earth, he would stand as a peacemaker. He would be the greatest king on earth and greatly devoted in order to create and maintain peace on earth. In other words, he would be entirely devoted and effortlessly working in order to create peace. So, if we do not know these little things, we do not grasp the real meaning and essence of this speech. Because every head of state talks about peace. Every leader talks about peace. Even those that they hate peace. Even those that fight against peace. Even those that they are at war with other nations still have the courage of speaking about peace. But His Imperial Majesty did not only speak. His Imperial Majesty worked and did all what was in his power and beyond to create and maintain peace. So, brief history. His Imperial Majesty has been the only head of state to speak with this title to both the League of Nations and the United Nations. So this speech is in front of United Nations 1963. In 1936, His Majesty went on the rostrum speaking to the League of Nations, denouncing the Italian invasion of Ethiopia, the aggressive, the brutal invasion of fascist Italian in the free country of Ethiopia. So His Imperial Majesty was the only head of state to speak to both organizations. Why is this? According to ancient prophecy, His Imperial Majesty will be the leader that will speak to the nations about peace, and through the powers of his lips, he will not only defeat the enemy, but he will also build everlasting peace. In other words, he will give the recipe, practical recipe, for everlasting peace. His Imperial Majesty tells us that he spoke for the conscience of the world, both to and for the conscience of the world, is in the second line of the speech. The ancient traditions, the ancient prophecies tell us that the King, Messiah, will be the leader that will instruct the conscience of the world in order to bring mankind to a new level of life, The moral of the story, what we are trying to say, is that in this speech there is not only guideline for peace on earth, not only a guideline for peace amongst men, but there is also an ulterior confirmation of who the king really is. God himself, God in man. Because the ancient prophecies, and we quote them once again, are the foundation on the basis of what we can recognize the Messiah. So the prophets gave us a portrait of the Messiah. Yeah? They describe traits, characteristic traits of the Messianic king. And in this speech, we see all those characteristics. Obviously, we will not be able to go through each one of them, yes, in this hour that we have today, but please keep this in mind when you will read the speech or when you will read again the speech of His Imperial Majesty. Collective security and the courage to speak and act. These are two fundamental elements. His Imperial Majesty tells us that the preservation of peace and the guaranteeing of man's basic freedoms and rights require courage and eternal vigilance, courage to speak and act. The Rastaman has been exposed to judgment of people and society and establishment from that time until this time for the courage to speak without compromising about certain fundamental issues. Rasakula.
Yes, sir. Well, like we say, to find that peace, beloved, as you say, it takes discipline, because right now, even for each and every individual, you have to keep cultivating that peace. And you have to see your life, because that's where you're going to find the peace now, in yourself, You have to open your third eye and look into the deepest depths of your soul, seeing, and create that discipline. And when you wake in the mornings, simple process. When you wake in the mornings, instead of jumping into a book, or turn on the radio, or turn on the television to try to find peace from the politicians, you just spend 15 minutes out of your time, your precious time, and hold your meditation. And use the power of the mind to go within yourself and try to identify all the bad weeds in your garden or the bad deeds and weed them out. So you create that discipline, see? And when you find those bad weeds and weed them out, you try to identify the good seeds and the good flowers, and you mold them and nurture them and care for them. So it takes self-discipline, because your husband not going to give you peace, or your wife not going to give you peace. You have to find that inner peace within yourself. And when you find that inner peace within yourself, and you practice that with your husband, or vice versa, you work together, cultivate it, mold it, and nurture it, and grow together. When you grow together, that's when you have that inner peace. In most cases, when you don't have a peaceful relationship, it's either the man outgrows the woman or the woman outgrows the man. So when you can grow together in harmony, because Mama Earth is guided by our natural laws, and closer to nature is closer to the Almighty. So when you just build your relationship and that inner peace from both parties, your relationship bloom and flourish, and you see the joy. Rastafari, blessings.
Give thanks, Akula, Rastafari, no. Yeah, so as we see, the peace is not a is, but it's really a process of becoming, internally and externally. They go together. Peace at home, peace in ourselves, peace will establish in our families, in our communities, in our cities, in our countries, and in the continents, and then universally. So it all starts within I, Rastafari.
Yes, I. So let's read just few lines. There is no single magic formula, no one simple step, no words, whether written into the organization's charter or into a treaty between states, which can automatically guarantee to us what we seek. Peace is a day-to-day problem, the product of a multitude of events and judgments. Peace is not an ease, it is a becoming. And this is exactly the theme, the line, the subject, the foundation. Peace is not an ease, it's a becoming. This definition puzzles us. What does that mean? Peace is not an ease, it is a becoming. Aikula.
Peace is not an ease, it's a becoming.
Yes, I.
Well, it's the same energy that we're talking about, that in terms of to attain this glory of this peace. See, it's not something that you're going to find out there. No, it's a thing that you have to work with yourself. Like we say, every man, woman, and child. All right, as of from today, let it be an individual responsibility. Each and every individual is responsible for themselves to find that inner peace. Okay? So you start to work with yourself. It's the same thing just like what I said before. Go into your garden, identify the bad weeds, and your bad weeds can be your man giving you a problem or your woman giving you a problem, see? And you weed it out. You understand? And if you do care for that man or that woman, it's something that you have to work with by communication. Create that discipline, okay, to resolve petty prejudice, which is problems. All right? So, day to day, you have to just work with yourself. A simple process. You're not going to find it from the politicians. No way. See? The pastor can't give you peace. See? Yeah, your brother not going to give you peace. Search in yourself, as His Majesty, it's a becoming. That means you have to grow and live to create that inner peace. Rastafari.
In other words, it's our responsibility. We need to stop looking for peace coming from other external sources. The peace is created within us, and then after that is reflected outside of us. In Rastafari, we firmly believe that everything that happens inside us is reflected outside of us. Just like we are a direct reflection of the Almighty.
Gotcha.
We are a microcosm reflecting a macrocosm. Yes, we are God in man, reflecting the divine essence within ourselves. So, when the king says that peace is a day-to-day problem, he's trying to tell us that you cannot think about peace only half an hour a week. But peace is something that you must be cultivating in every single moment. A day-to-day problem.
Yes.
That means that you have to address it daily. And how do you do that? First, being mindful of it. So in every little things that we do, you have to be aware of where your mind is. Watch your mind, observe your mind, because remember, your mind is not only a mechanism, is not only an intricate mechanism of neurons and chemicals. Your mind is one of the external levels of your soul. So your soul is speaking to you through your mind. And if you consider that your soul is divine, then automatically your mind is an element of divinity expressing in yourself. So in other words, your mind is the Almighty speaking to you.
Yes.
If
sure.
you tune in.
True.
Rasaibi.
Yes, sir.
Rastafari.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, as we were speaking yesterday also about the divine and natural laws, we know that whatever we focus upon, that is what grows. Whatever we focus on our mind on, that grows. So if we can focus on a daily basis upon peace in our own self, in our doings in the world, in our communications with other beings, then that the reason and the chance that that will manifest, it is much bigger. It's not a once per week or at a meeting and a conference and then we continue. No, it's a day-to-day. It's not a static. That is what Magis is showing I that it is not a static thing. It's an ever-evolving process, a life process. So being part of this process now, we strive towards peace in all what we do. And we will find it. Believe you me, we will find it. And when that thing comes, when we are finding ourselves to be peaceful, we do what? We attract peace through the law of attraction. We attract peace, peaceful individual, peaceful meetings, peaceful work situations. Everything in our life will be peaceful if we can find that inner equilibrium. Give thanks.
Yes, I. Rastafari. You know, I wanna share a simple demonstration. There was an elder Rasta man in my community when I was a child, you know. And you know what he taught me? He said, Aikula, he used to speak about never carry a bloody meditation. And I was wondering what he was talking about. He would wake in the mornings and he would say, move away, Mother Babylon. Move away with your modernization. Move away with your bloody meditation. We do not want your flesh to eat or your blood to drink. And I always said to myself as a child, what this elder is talking about? So one day I went and questioned him and said, Bongo Stano, what do you mean by this bloody meditation? He said, bloody meditation is a negative energy. So I said, demonstrate to me what you mean that I can understand as a child. He said, Rasta youth, if you take a boat and you go to the ocean and you row that boat into the ocean and you have a glass of blood and you drip drips of blood into the ocean, do you know what you're going to see? And I said, oh, sharks. He said, it's the same thing with the human temple. If you meditate, bloody meditation, and consume blood within your temple, you're going to attract negative energy, which is sharks. It's not sea shark, but it's land shark, which is negative energy. So when you're talking about the peace, you have to be careful what you think. It's a thought. If you meditate negativity, you will attract negativity. You have to sow positive seeds by thinking and focus. It's a simple format. You see? You throw some blood in the ocean, you're going to attract shark. You have your bloody meditation, you're going to attract sharks, which is land shark, which is negative energy. Rastafari.
Eyes is eye, eyes is eye, eyes is eye. Give thanks, Rasa Kula. Give thanks, Rasaibi. So Aina is really reasoning here about one fundamental subject. It turns out that the only ones that can create peace in our life are no one else, if not us. It is our responsibility to make sure that our family, our friends are not only visited by a fleeting and transitory peace, but they can be buzzing, immersed into peace. What we want to create is an environment in which peace is the constant. Try to envision a world in which this is the imperative, that you just don't do certain things, you just don't say certain things, and first of all, you just don't think certain things. Consequently, your garden, like the elder was saying, it becomes blooming of beautiful flowers, nice smell, beautifully looking colors. And you know what? Only we will be the responsible for that garden. That is why Haile Selassie I is the ultimate and that the definitive Adam. He is Adam coming as the first original man, coming in this time as the ultimate man. He is the pinnacle. He is the crux on which peace is built. He is the top of the triangle. He is the element of balance. As a new Adam, he brings a new testament on this world to make sure that the original garden can be preserved, can be covered of beautiful flowers, and the animals can be at peace, and the inhabitants can be smiling, and can be sharing loving kindness amongst one another. That is why His Imperial Majesty comes to us through the mean of the United Nations as an instrument, come to us to declare these principles, so that all of us can take in hand our destiny and the destiny of mankind. Having said so, peace is not an ease, it is a becoming. It has also another very important meaning. When I meditate, we know that if it is a becoming, it means that if I make a mistake today, it's not all finished. I can still keep it up tomorrow. I can make better because it's a becoming. And this is a very, very motivational message to the world. Because you don't do something today and it's only today and that's it. But it's a becoming, it's a process. There is also space for mistake. Because mistakes are just the gate for your betterment. His Imperial Majesty tells us that there are opportunities and challenge. And every opportunity is a challenge. And every challenge is an opportunity. That means that when you have an opportunity to do something good in life, in that opportunity there is also a challenge. All right? We knew that already. Mom told us that. But maybe we were not aware of the fact that in every challenge resides an opportunity. So this is the message of the Rastaman. Every challenge, every obstacle, it is just the container for a precious opportunity inside. Ailey.
Jaja. Rastafari. Yeah, you know, like what Julia was just saying, you know, and also the elder also teaches I that tomorrow, he said, live today, but tomorrow belongs to the man that is positive today. Very important. Tomorrow belongs to the man that is positive today. That means you don't have to wait till tomorrow to start the process.
Yes, sir.
Start the process now. No.
No better time than now.
Yes.
No better time than now.
No. So listen, what the Rastaman was talking about 60 and 70 years ago, I lived to come see that Babylon really come now on to capitalize on the whole thing. So when we're talking about peace, see, and it's an individual responsibility, start the process now.
Don't wait anymore. So it's up to us. You know, we are facing opportunities and challenges every day.
Also, I don't cut there. If you have problems, you know, in a relationship, you know, or problems out there within the system, you know, start the process now. Because that's what's going to bring the harmony in your relationship. When you work together, start the process now. When you go home as a woman, say, my darling, listen, come on. Let's start the process now. Vice versa. Let's start the process now. Work on it. Wake in the mornings and look into each other's eyes and say, okay, let's start the process now. Live in harmony. Put away negativity. Think positive. throw away the bloody meditation. You don't want the bloody meditation. You want a green meditation. Green and attract green. Rastafari, blessings. Start the process now.
Yes. In Rastafari, we say that we are creators of creation. That is exactly what His Imperial Majesty is talking about in this speech. It's like he's saying, hey, you must stop looking at yourself just like a little inhabitant. Yeah, like you're renting a room in a building. This is you're not renting. That's your place. You must take care of it. You know, I might be the landlord, but you are in charge of all of it. Yeah. So creators of creation is a very important dimension of Rastafari in I Livity. And sometime there is one element very similar to creation, which is healing. Healing is just like creating, but the difference is that it requires even more wisdom, even more compassion. So His Imperial Majesty in this speech is telling us that we are creators of creation, but right now we must heal certain dynamics within the world. But here comes the ancient knowledge and the tradition. The concept of creation and the concept of healing in the metaphysical and the mystical tradition, they are bound, they are connected, because healing is just as creating. The difference is that creating is creating something out of a blueprint, right? You have a project for a house, you follow the project, and then you have the house built. Healing is the reverse, is going like backward. From the broken house, the pieces, you re-put them together in order to recreate the initial project, initial blueprint. So healing is just like creating. So when we go in our lives now, in our life stories, and we see that there is something to heal, something to cure, let's get not defeated or depressed, but let's remind us that that is exactly what we are here for, in order to heal and recreate that original harmony that we all have and we all share inside of us. Because every man born happy, every human being is born with peace within himself or herself. So we don't have to go and seek peace once again. We have to let all the trouble, all the mud put on one side so that the diamonds of peace can finally shine bright. Eyes as eye.
Rastafari. And you want to go?
Yeah, when 1936 at Majesty's speech there at the League of Nations, it was a judgment. It was really a judgment upon that organization and the whole world, because they wasn't able to live up to the covenants. So when the world, after the Second World War, called upon the nations and they realized that we need to have one world body to deal with things and in the world, they call upon His Majesty from Ethiopia, saying, because he was the one who was wronged on, and through him and through betraying him, the world organization falls. So they call upon Haile Selassie as the healer, as the Medani Alem, as they would say. And he come heading the Ethiopian delegation to San Francisco, I think it was, in 1963, to build up the United Nations, to set up that world body again. And this speech is referring very much to that world body, saying that it might be the last hope of humanity. So there are forces in the world that is now trying to reenact, to empower that organization again, to weeding out certain habits and certain ways that this organization have been fulfilling for a long time. And there is a sister in amongst us here today that is representing a project called RUN, Renew United Nations Now. And we don't really have the time today to go into that subject much, but whosoever feel any interest of this, I pray thee, let the sister share some information with I. See Sister Natasha right there, and she have some information, also printed information that ones can take to heart. Give thanks. Bless.
Yes, by saying so, we're coming closer to the sealing of the panel. His Imperial Majesty tells us that until the philosophy which holds one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned, that until there are no longer first-class and second-class citizens of any nation, that until the color of a man's skin is of no more significance than the color of his eyes, that until the basic human rights are equally guaranteed to all without regard to race, that until that day the dream of lasting peace and world citizenship and the rule of international morality will remain but a fleeting illusion to be pursued but never attained. And until the ignoble and unhappy regimes that hold our brothers in Angola, in Mozambique, and in South Africa in subhuman bondage have been toppled and destroyed, until bigotry and prejudice and malicious and inhuman self-interest have been replaced by understanding and tolerance and goodwill, until all Africans stand and speak as free beings equal in the eyes of all men as they are in the eyes of heaven, until that day the African continent will not know peace. We Africans will fight if necessary, and we know that we shall win, as we are confident in the victory of good over evil. Words of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I.
Haile!
Selassie.
Rastafari.
Selassie. Closing now. The problems which confront us today are equally unprecedented. They have no counterparts in human experience. Men search the pages of history for solutions, for precedents, but there are none. This then is the ultimate challenge. Where are we to look for our survival, for the answers to the questions which have never before been posed? We must look first to Almighty God, who has raised man above the animals and endowed him with intelligence and reason. We must put our faith in him, that he will not desert us, for permit us to destroy humanity, which he created in his image. And we must look into ourselves, into the depth of our souls. We must become something we have never been, and for which our education and experience and environment have ill prepared us. We must become bigger than we have been, more courageous, greater in spirit, larger in outlook. We must become members of a new race, overcoming petty prejudice, owing our ultimate allegiance not to nations, but to our fellow men within the human community. Emperor Haile Selassie I.
Yeah. Rastafari.
Final words
Yes, sir.
and blessing.
Rastafari. Yeah, man. And I tell you, say, one small tip when it comes to the inner peace. My family, let me tell you something. Be careful of the food that you consume. The food chain is contaminated. Make sure. Because what happens is that the multinational corporations that grow the food is grown under aggression. So when you consume that food, it's very aggressive to the system. So you act aggressive. So that's what's happening. If you can eat from your back door garden or come together, unify yourself with little gardens, little vegetable plots, and you people work together to eat from your own garden. It's the best thing. Rastafari.
Blessed I. We shall see you tomorrow at the House of Rastafari, 4:30. Blessed love be with you. Peace, love, and prosperity. Rastafari blessings.
Yes, sir.